Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a podcast Orange. I'm your host, Tom Crescendo. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Jack Siegel. How you doing, Jack?
I am great today, and the reason is that we have our first guest ever on this podcast.
Our first guest. The lovable, exciting Morgan Freeman. How you doing, Morgan?
Hi, I'm Morgan Friedman.
What was it like being in the Shawshank Redemption?
I thought that everyone in it.
Did you feel good being a token black guy?
I felt tokenized.
Do you feel like you're a traitor to your race?
I've always felt like a traitor to my race.
Right, I agree.
Because I think that people look at me more as a voice than a person.
Do you think the next logical conclusion for you is that you should kill yourself?
I think I have a few more children's books to read before I kill myself.
Bruce Almighty 3. You can't forget about that.
Yeah, can't forget.
Yeah.
Andrew Bergen, everybody. Andrew Bergen's
Hi.
in the studio.
Hey.
I ran out of energy for that bit.
Yeah,
it's
no,
Andrew Bergen, everyone.
That one.
How you doing, Andrew?
It's great to be your first guest.
Is that an honor?
I guess. I feel like I'm the best out of the other three people that you know. I feel
Maybe.
like
I mean, you have to feel special that you were the first person.
Who are the
that
other
we
three
invited,
people we're being compared to?
Because we went over, like, who do we want as the first person, and then other people are like, nah, fuck this guy.
yeah, no, I mean, that does feel good. It feels good. I'll be honest. It feels good to be the first one.
Well, because Jack had some, like, pitches to me for first guest, and, like, it's people we know, and obviously this is no offense to anybody, but sometimes Jack'd be like, what about this person? I'd just be like, eh. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I wanted our first guest to be, like, you know, someone we know really well, and someone who I know is just, like, good in conversation.
Great
and,
conversation.
And someone who sucks at mean
persona that
Yeah,
you
no,
presented
people
to us.
people say to me a lot. They go like, "Where did you learn your conversational skills?" And it just comes natural to me.
Just natural.
It just comes naturally to me.
As naturally as yo-yoing.
People will say something, and I'll just have a response.
It's kind of like talking, you know?
But it's different because it's like it'll be a good response.
Yeah.
It'll be
It's
good and not bad?
Typically, yeah.
Wow,
and
that's pretty deep.
That's the skill.
That's crazy. I never thought of that. Good, but not bad. Wow. Nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to have you here, Andrew.
Thanks.
This is different than we normally do, because normally it's just me and Tom screaming obscenities.
Exactly.
And now we have sort of Bergen with a, like, somewhat measured cadence. And,
Yeah, you
Yeah.
see, it's usually just Jack and I feeding into each other's really deeply problematic pathologies.
What do you guys usually talk about?
Whatever. I think this week we had some topics in mind, right?
yeah, sometimes we go topical.
Depends.
Sometimes we just talk about bullshit.
Like, for example, I have a friend who, like, I thought this would be funny to talk about, because I have a friend who he's hooking up with this girl, and she's, like, really hot, and he's really into her and stuff, and, you know, like, I've met her and she is cool, but, like, she's a huge anti-masker. Like,
Really?
hugely anti, like, to the point where, like...
And he kisses her.
Yes, and fucks her, and...
He should wear a mask when he kisses her.
Yeah.
Should I wear a mask when she sucks
Yeah,
his
he's
dick?
like, can you put lipstick on the mask? And then I can see your lips through it.
Can you have one of those, like, see-through masks where I could just see you smiling while I
Yeah. So, like, does he disagree with the ideology?
I mean, yeah, like, if you talk to him, like, he's like, no, yeah, like, I think the masks are important, and, like, I think people who are against masks are stupid, but this girl's, like, so hot that, like,
Yeah.
you know, like, when I'm with her, like, she'll talk to him, he's like, well, she'll talk to me about it, and, like, you know, she'll be going off, like, I don't even want to wear a mask to, like, you know, just to not have a confrontation, and he'll be like, yeah, I see what you're saying, when really deep down, like, he feels like, obviously, that you should wear the masks.
Yeah, I mean, I think that better-looking people like to wear the mask less than us ugly people.
Yeah.
Right, because they have more to lose.
I feel more confident in a mask.
Yeah, when your face is generally covered,
Yeah.
you know.
I can be like any type of fat person I want to be when I'm in the mask. Where, like, I could be like a really tough, like, not a tough, but like you know, like those Italian, like, restaurant owners? And they walk around with, like, a money clip with all hundreds?
Yeah, just like the really beefy fat women
Yeah,
who
yeah,
are
but-
like, they're like, they are women, but they're like, you get a sense that they can fuck you up.
It's like the facade
Yeah.
of confidence in a way.
Yeah, like, but then, like, I feel like if you're, like, a hot girl, it's like, this mask is fucking me up. It's like, people, like, I go into the store and people think that I'm, like, regular-looking girl.
Yeah. They don't treat me special. They don't have that special...
They don't hold the doors for me, but at least I feel more confident in the way I appear.
Especially if you're like a hot girl with like a regular body. Like, you're not just, like, you're not killing it on the body front. It's, like, mostly about face.
Yeah, if your
girls
face
that
is
are-
your main asset,
Yeah.
this is a really bad time.
Because there's some girls that are just faces, that are just, like, their bodies are shit. But
Yeah,
they're,
like, people talk about
you
paper
have a pretty
bag.
face.
People talk about paper bag situations, but what about, like, body bag
The opposite.
situations? Like, that's definitely a thing.
What do they call a butter face? It would be a
Butterface is
butter
a-
body.
Yeah, butter body.
Yeah,
Have a
it's
nice
like-
butter body.
It's
babe.
like, you tell them you're Jewish when you're having sex, so you have to do the sheet.
Yeah, exactly. Just pretend them. I mean, we've all been there where we're having sex with, like, a really fucking gross, ugly person, and you're just thinking about...
And you're like, I wish you were more than 4 feet tall.
I wish you were older than 8 so you knew what you were doing.
That I can't relate to. I just fucking
I like how I brought that
wish
up
I
as
was-
if anybody... I was hoping you guys would, like, help me out there.
You're like,
and
when
be
you got this disgusting girl and you're
You're like, no, you're on your own there.
It's like, yeah, when you're having sex with this nasty fucking girl and you're ashamed of yourself because of him.
They tell her to hit you with a bottle.
You guys just left me on my own there.
I mean, you're very much on your own.
Well, I mean, I have been having sex with a girl who, like, you know, like, I think most guys have fucked down. Women tend not to fuck down, but most guys
think
have fucked
women
down
do
at least
fuck
I think
down,
they
though.
do. I
That
think
is-
that guys
yeah.
think that they don't, but they
Do you?
do.
No, they do.
Maybe.
They do.
I think-
You know.
Then again, every girl who fucked me must have been fucking down, so I guess I
Yeah.
proved my own point wrong. This is a podcast depression, anybody. But
Podcast
getting,
self-deprecation.
getting back to the thing, it's like, it's interesting, though, because when you're like, because this kid believes, obviously, like, he's pro-mask. Like, he's not, like, crazy about it, but,
Yeah.
like, he thinks the masks are, like, the right thing to do. And he thinks you're stupid if you don't wear them. But, like, to be dating a girl who's, like, really hot, who has the complete opposite view, like, it's funny how far guys will go just to get pussy. Like, it's funny how far back dudes will walk on these supposed views that they have just for the chance of, like, vagina. Like,
Yeah, but it's not just that. It's like he has to go out in public with her, and like he loses all of like the cool points for like being with a hot girl when
Yeah.
she's like out in public, and she's just like, I will not wear a mask. It's like no one asked her. Like she's in a park.
Or
She's like, I will not wear a mask like you people.
And she'll
it's-
look down on people that wear a mask.
Yeah,
And-
the people who look down, they're like, I don't know. It's like someone who's like following the rules too much.
yeah.
Yeah, it's to me that's like looking down on somebody who wears seatbelts. It's like
That's how
what
I
makes
feel, too.
It's so it doesn't make any
Remember
sense.
when we
to me,
had?
like-
You ever like when you're in high school, everyone has those like retard friends that you'd be driving like, "What are you wearing? A seatbelt? You fucking pussy!" It's like, yes.
Wait, what do you do in
Yeah,
the
like,
car?
what are you
Like, are you
talking
like
about?
are you like Shakira? Like, are you like dancing in the car? I don't understand
Why
what
do
you
you
have
not
to
need a
do.
seatbelt?
You're like, oh, I gotta like bend over and touch my feet all the time. I just have a thing that I gotta always be like bending around and just like moving about the car.
Yeah, right.
It's like I'm in the back seat. I don't know if I want to be on this side or if I want to be on that side.
I
wanna
like to leave
move
it on.
around,
I like to
you know.
leave it on cruise control.
I'm not
and
an
go in
animal.
the back and look for a bong. Like,
Yeah.
But I don't think it was just. I don't think it's just men that will like sacrifice their principles to have sex with but like it's different with women because like if there's a guy that looks like I don't know like Ryan Reynolds or somebody like she'll sacrifice her principles, but guys will sacrifice their principles for somebody that's
Maybe.
like kind of hot. Like, you know what I mean? It's different.
Yeah, see, I think the difference is with women, like, if a woman is going to sacrifice her principles, she has to be, like, head over heels for the dude. She has to be like, oh my god, like, either I'm in love with this guy, or he's just the hottest dude I've ever seen, and I want to suck his dick. But with a dude, like, even if there's, like, a mild
It's, like,
chance of
kind of
getting
hot,
laid,
yeah.
like, if you find out, like, that, like, if you're about to hook up with a 10 out of 10 at a bar, and you find out, like, somehow in conversation that she's just a straight-up white nationalist, I bet many guys would still probably be like, I could not care just for one night. You know what I mean? Like, just just for right now. Like, I
Yeah.
can see her point. It's
You're
like,
like,
oh, no, I understand that. I understand wanting a homogenous nation, kind of. Like,
Yeah, I know. You're like, let me just decide over a Budweiser.
yeah, right.
Let me just decide over a Yangling. Let me get 2 Yanglings over here. I think that guys are much more likely to do so. But that being said, I've known girls who like will talk to like. I've known girls who like it just seems like they have poor judgment in the first place. Same with guys. Like,
Yeah.
but I know like I think that our like perspective is skewed because we have such low self-confidence as a group. Like
Correct.
the 3 of us together might have the self-confidence of like a guy who is an accountant.
Right.
Not even a good
The
accountant.
3 of us combined have like an eighth of the confidence of like Bill Gates. Or
We
something.
make like
not even an eighth,
$40,000.
probably like a
yeah.
like a 15th.
Bill Gates is solving the world's
Yeah.
problems. There's no one with more purpose in
Honestly,
the world.
is he solving the world's problems, or is he just figuring out which vaccines not to poison his kids with? But
Yeah, I mean,
did you guys hear about that? He supposedly doesn't give like his kids certain vaccines.
I mean,
My only source for that is that journalist Whitney Webb, so I don't know how true it is, but
that
she
woman is
she was on
a
Tim
crazy
Dillon.
person.
she's pretty insane.
She is insane. I mean,
Yeah.
like
As much as I enjoyed that podcast, she's a fucking crazy.
So why do
she's
you,
a nut. The thing is, like, you watch the thing and like you listen to her and like you go like, oh okay, this is some real stuff, and then she says something, and you're like, what am I listening to? You're like, it's like listening to Alex Jones, like with a different voice.
Basically, yeah.
It's like if like someone else like read the transcript of Alex Jones and like you start going like okay, and he's like these people are making the frogs gay.
Yeah,
and you're like,
there's, like-
that's Alex Jones.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
Alex Jones. right
although
there.
like it's interesting because we were talking about conspiracy theories last week, and I like read something that was like kind of surprising. Like I don't know the exact number, but an alarming number of people legitimately believe in like QAnon stuff in
Yeah.
this country, and it's just
Absolutely.
like it's fucking crazy. Like what, and not only like just regular, but like a lot of people that are running for Congress, and it's just it's like no.
I think a lot of people support it knowing that there's a lot of people who support it. Like a lot of people like I don't know, it's a crazy idea that like it's sort of like they think that like that like Trump is fighting a secret war with like the pedophiles who
Yeah.
are like
Yeah.
also cannibals.
They think that Trump is the Messiah. That's one of their things. They think he's like the second coming of Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
they're just gonna
Pathology
eat
is
the.
crazy.
They're all trying to eat the babies, the adrenochrome, and
They're
like,
cannibalistic pedophiles.
They're all
That's
meeting.
the thing.
Yeah,
They're
it's-
meeting at the Bohemian Grove and sacrificing goats or something.
They're like
that's-
White Walkers, Democrats. It's
yeah,
Like obviously, like I believe in some of that to an extent, but like like the cartooniness of like.
think about what you just said. For a second. Like let's take
Here's
that.
what I'm saying.
You're not gonna like plow
No,
over
here's what
that.
I'm saying.
You're just
I
like
believe in.
he
Here's the thing.
believes in pedophilia.
I mean,
it's one of his core
yeah,
beliefs.
I believe
believe
in
that pedophiles
pedophilia.
exist.
I,
That's-
be-
that's
well, I believe
good.
in pedophilia.
yeah, treat
I
people the
believe
way
in
you
it as
wish
a
to be
principle.
treated, and he also believes in pedophilia.
It's a human right, you know.
Look, I just believe.
Maps. What are they
Really, I just believe in it as a concept. No, really, what I'm saying is I believe in like the government having secret sort of organizations and societies. I mean, they probably do. I don't believe in the silly ass like it's Donald Trump versus the evil lizard people like trying to take over the like the planet. Like obviously that's insane. And I think what was crazy is if you guys
Go on
went
a
on.
limb there.
Did you guys go on like 4chan when you were younger at all? Like,
That was more
or did
like
you have self-respect?
I didn't go on it like in a real sort of way.
Okay, so you had
that was more like
self-respect.
high school
Yeah.
when like me and my friend would get like drunk and look at it.
Yeah,
Shit.
see, like that's where, like, when I was like, ages like 13 to like 19, I went through a phase with it where I never would post, but I would just scroll it and read it because I thought it was funny. Like, and back in like 2013, it was kind of funny. Back,
Yeah.
you know, it was still fucked up, but it wasn't like what it is today. It was just like a bunch of kids saying crazy shit, and there's
like,
no rules. Like,
This
it was
is
cool.
like White Nationalist Anonymous.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're like,
it was basically just
like,
like,
how did you get to where you were today, Tom? And you're like, it was just fun back in the day.
I mean,
It
I
became
don't
mainstream
understand.
though. That's the thing with those like far right conspiracy theories.
I mean, it wasn't even right wing, but there wasn't that much racism. More was just like rapey talk and a lot of like sexism. Really, it wasn't
pretty
very
racist
racial.
from what I remember.
I mean, it became that way after a while. I think that was like when the poll board got really popular. That's where like the racial shit came in. But for a while, it was just a lot of dumb sexual jokes and obviously porn, and then the old memes, of course. But I remember seeing the like, "Hi, my name is like QAnon," or like, "My name is Blankanon. I'm an FBI informant on the inside, and I'm here to tell you guys about like the secret plot to take over Donald Trump and attack the." And I would read the shit. I'd be like, "This is like." Someone put so much effort into this.
I'm putting on a
Like, this
public
is
forum on the
insane.
internet,
like,
too.
And just the thought that, like, okay, like, entertaining even for a minute that this is legit. The idea that an FBI agent would choose 4chan as, like, the website that he decides to upload this information to.
And just, like, you know that the same guy who wrote that, like, does not shave his face. Like, he hasn't gotten a haircut in years.
Oh,
like,
God.
it's just, like, he's so hyper-focused on this, like, one crazy thing. He doesn't take care of himself. He doesn't wear deodorant. Yeah, he has, like, staph infection all over himself.
He has a shirt with, like, Yoshi on it from
He has, like,
Super
skin
Mario.
tags and fucking... He has, like, a wife beater with pizza grease stains on it. And,
There's like spots that he thinks might be cancerous, but he like doesn't want to check it out.
He has like liver spots, and he's in his late 30s.
He's balding.
His mom is yelling out like, "Mike, come up for dinner!" And he's like, "No, I gotta like solve the secrets of this country."
It's like, "In a minute, Mom," and he's just like typing away.
Yeah, and it's just and he's like, "Where's the best place to post this?"
Yeah, he's just scrolling. He's like, "What? Should I choose a mainstream
Should I choose
website?
Reddit? No, that's for the normies. I'm gonna go on.
I'm gonna go on 4chan because that's where the real intellectuals are gonna read this.
Did you ever watch that video of like that guy from one of the Charlottesville Nazis that was like from Long Island, and he was crying in a video because he was like, "I don't want to get in trouble." And then, like, his mom was yelling at him from upstairs. And he's like, "Not now, Mom! I'm on the internet right now."
Not now,
like,
"Not now, Mom. I'm trying to convince everyone I'm not racist."
See, that's why I don't really, like, I'm not, like, afraid of, like, those people. Because at the end of the day, it's just, like...
I mean, but they're not all like that. You know what I mean? Some of them have they're not all just, like, whiny little kids. I think that's what's kind of dangerous. But, like, you know, when it is kids, it seems a little less scary because it's like, you know, these kids are just, like, you know... Kids are wrong about a lot of things, and, you know, what sucks is that they're going to have to learn from it, and, like, learning from being racist is a much more awkward thing to grow out of than, like, learning from just, like, I don't know, smoking weed too much, or, like, learning to not jerk off all the time. Like, it's like you have to learn to, like, if you're a kid and you grow up and you're like, actually, I was kind of, like, an idiot back then. I feel like it's kind of difficult to just, like, reconcile with that. Just be like, all right, like... I seriously, truly believed that lizards ran the government for a while, and that they were making black people take my jobs, but now I'm better, right?
Yeah, but it's like also with any other thing you do growing up, like smoking weed or like whatever, you're like that's like something that like builds like neural pathways in your brain, and like you're like has all this dopamine associated with it, and you like can't stop. The other one, like they're just like. You're like if you have to stop that, you're like, I'm losing one of my favorite things, and then these other people have to be like, oh, I'm losing just one of my most important core beliefs.
Yeah,
like it's like not like a fun thing. Like I don't know. I guess it's like
there could be a dopamine high associated with it. Like you're arguing on Facebook. Like some people are insane enough to be like see them getting a high.
Go, like,
I guess it's the ego more or less that's like the most impacted by it. You're like, I have to just admit everything I believed was wrong.
Yeah.
It sucks admitting you're wrong about anything. Like, you ever, you know, when you're talking to somebody and like, you tell them something and they're like, well, actually, no, this is the way it is. And then you just like, oh, okay. You know, it's like humiliating in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if it's a fact. Like, if it's a fact that you were just straight up wrong about, like...
Yeah, you kept saying all the time.
Like, you just say something
it's just like you look like an idiot. But, I mean, like, that's the thing that people don't realize, or people should realize, is that everybody's wrong about everything. And so...
Exactly. We're all dumb and no one should vote.
No, but the thing is, people don't like to admit that they're wrong. And that's... You know, when you're presented with new information, but it is like, it takes a little bit out of you. Like, you lose a little bit of face when you have to be like, oh, okay, everything I believe is just bullshit.
I don't usually mind correcting myself if it's around someone that I'm, like, comfortable with, but when it's, like, someone who, like, is, like, you say something and they're in an argument with you and you're like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I just, like, realize
now I
that
lost
I'm wrong.
this debate, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I just hold no stances.
That's why I don't hold any serious views about anything.
Yeah.
I just make sure all of my views are mild enough to where they never lead to serious incorrections.
I was arguing with someone smarter than me recently about Donald Trump, and by the end I was like, oh, okay, like, I guess get me a MAGA hat then. I'm like, I mean, like, I guess it sounds pretty good. Like, did he really do all of that?
Get
like,
me a MAGA.
like,
It's wow, now that you mentioned it, he sounds kind of great.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I didn't, you know what, you're right, like, you can have an idiot with good policies. I'm like, oh, I guess that the economy was doing pretty well. I guess he did stop those planes from China.
I mean, sometimes it's funny because sometimes psychologically it does feel better to just like say like, okay, I'm smart enough to admit I'm wrong.
Yeah,
even if you know like you don't agree, you're like, I guess I'll.
Well, because that's like maturity in a way, and you have to say I'm wrong. I used to have this.
But the problem is if you're just doing it out of being comfortable.
Yeah,
like you don't really feel that you were wrong.
Like, the Jews really are ruining society. Like, they're cockroaches and leeches, and
I mean, that would be true. But go on.
and then you're like, I guess Hitler is not so bad. Give me a.
Give me a MAGA hat.
Give me a MAGA hat now. That was good. That was quick.
I used to have this philosophy professor, and he would get into these debates with students, and sometimes the students would just give him a point that he never thought about, but instead of saying, you're right about that, he would just say, no, you're wrong, and he would just move on. And it's just like, dude, I get that you're like you're a professor, and it's humiliating that some like 18-year-old kid who just ripped a bong is telling you off right now, but you have to admit, like, even when you're older, that you can be wrong, and people that are like dumber than you.
I mean, honestly,
where you teach philosophy?
Yeah, it was like
loser.
Ancient philosophy.
what a queer.
It was like Pluto and Socrates. Those books would just be two people contradicting each other for an entire book. They're just two philosophers arguing with each other about ethics and everything. And
yeah, no, philosophy professors are just losers. They're like I just want to live it. Like they like don't want to live in like the real world. Yeah, they want to live in like the theoretical world.
Everything is abstract.
Every philosophy professor I've ever had seemed like a completely insufferable human being outside of academia.
They all wear sweaters.
Yeah, they do. Like, every single one of them wears like a fucking sweater with cutoff. Like,
it's like they would go to get coffee and they'd be like, "What type of coffee do you want?" And they'd be like, "What do I want?"
Right. What is coffee? If you really
why do you want coffee in the first place?
There used to be this when I worked at Starbucks. This philosophy professor who came into Starbucks. And he always wore a tweed jacket and would hit on this one girl who worked at Starbucks.
Oh, God.
That's funny when it's a philosopher hitting on you. Like, he's trying to seem poised and smart, but he's totally just, like, horny. Like,
yeah. He's like...
he's like, I can see an existential crisis with you later. It's true, though, because I think with philosophy, it's, like, one of those, like, sort of, like, fields of study where, like, most of the work is just reading stuff and then, like, pontificating on what you read. Because there's been so much philosophical deliberation, very rarely is just, like, a new school of thought just created.
Yeah. I think it's
so a lot of it is just...
it
is interesting.
I like philosophy class a lot.
The people who teach it, really, I think they get into this sort of mental framework where they're like, I look at everything from this more objective perspective than everyone else because I've read all these readings, and because of that I'm like above people.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely see that.
I think the idea, probably the idea when you go into philosophy is you're like, I'm going to read all the books and I'm going to come up with what I think is right amongst all of the different things that I read. And then you go into a coffee shop and you hit on a woman. It's just like, you're still like in the real world. Like, you're not any more special than
someone out after that.
And the thing is that like, you're not, like, you're still making like $40K a year. Like, you're not like, you didn't get out of the rat race. So it's just like, you're sitting in a basement, like, talking about like
the
just like,
life.
Yeah, exactly. Talking about the meaning. Like, you might as well just smoke weed. and like
essentially,
and like do something else.
Especially because I think a lot of like professors too, like even though like I'm not saying professors don't earn their credentials. But I think a lot of them really aren't as, like, smart as, like, their title measures them up to be.
Well, some
like,
professors are very... I mean, it depends, you know.
Again,
like,
obviously it depends. Like, they may know a lot about the field of what they're talking about, but as people, they could be just as, like, moronic.
Well, yeah, I had a... what's it called? I had a screenwriting professor who was, like, a total dumbass. And I remember she didn't even, like, give a shit about the class she was teaching. And, some professors are, like, absolute fucking geniuses, and
then you have Jordan Peterson.
But it's interesting they talk about like the professor that hits on the girl, because there's nothing more insufferable than a guy who like thinks he's really smart and is using that as a way to try to get some pussy. Like,
I know he dressed smart. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people, he's
what
like
did
in
you
a
say?
tweed,
He was wearing like the tweed
jacket. It's like he smoked a pipe.
Yeah, right.
He's wearing like a tie too.
If he does smoke weed, he definitely smokes it out of a corn cob. Like he thinks that's so cool. He's like, like this is the most inefficient way to get high.
He didn't wear glasses, like
khaki pants,
curly gray hair.
I think straight gray hair.
Straight gray. All right, because a lot of times professors just have like this like
just
curly like just like I'm a mad scientist.
Dude, my philosophy professor would say process. He would say
process
instead of process.
That guy should kill himself.
Yeah, that's like if I was always just like, it's made of aluminium.
Yeah,
but at least aluminium it counts in like Britain. Like, does anyone really say process?
Apparently, he was Canadian, and he would say schedule. And I just dude,
schedule.
Here's what's on the schedule for this week. Like
I don't want to be like ethnocentric, but it's like, come on, like our English is the best.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I like schedule better than schedule. Like,
what I learned recently, this could be one of those facts that like someone just said and is not true, but like British people didn't always talk how they do now. They just like made like a fancier sort of new English to sound better than us.
Just because they wanted to make us sound like idiots.
Yeah, I would say that's kind of what instead of ketchup, and to make it sound like more refined. You know, do you want some ketchup?
Or like
they're
burger? Like, if you know what, like you know how you like have earmuffs. Like, I've heard them called, like, wind guards by, like, British people.
Like, that makes more of a sense.
Wind guard. But it's like, that makes sense, but it's like...
That's like a logical word for it.
But it's still just like, I mean, wind god. It's like, it's fucking earmuffs. Just put it on your head.
It's funny, like imagine, like, just, like, talking like we do and be like, what's, like, a fancier way to say stuff? And you're just like, ooh, whoa, and then you, like, make words out of it. You're like, ooh, like, how do we make words out of this? You're like, it's a butler.
A t-shirt is a chest protector.
Chest protector.
They sound like they're talking through a flute.
Yeah, right.
What is it?
My bong is my weed administrator.
Even when they curse, it sounds like that. Like I like when they say bollocks instead of bullshit.
Yeah,
that's
bollocks.
Bollocks.
That's good though. That's a good
fun word to say.
Bollocks, but I love bullshit. Bullshit's a great one.
But there's this sign that I always see now. It says Trump 2020, no more bullshit. have you seen this sign?
Well, yeah, it's
not
funny.
Seen that.
Near my house, like back in you guys remember gyms, right? Remember when those existed? Gyms?
Yes.
Yeah, remember the gyms?
Dimes.
Yeah, back in the day. Way back in the day, pre-pandemic.
Gymnasiums.
I used to drive to New York Sports Club. And, which, it's pretty close to my house, and, I could get there quicker by going through neighborhoods. And there was this one neighborhood where I would go down this road every time I'd pass this house, and this dude had a Trump flag that said no more bullshit, literally just on the front of his house.
Yeah.
That's like, just on his
people
house.
People like to display it loud and proud.
Like, people, but just the fact that you put the word bullshit on your house, it's like, it's one thing if you're going to put it on the back of your car or something, or maybe like a lawn sign, but he had it was like a flag from like the fucking...
My
like
house is voting for Trump. That's what he's...
Yeah.
No more bullshit. It's like, why don't you get that bullshit off your house, idiot?
I first saw it when I was upstate, and there are houses that just have Confederate flags on the front of them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is crazy because it's like they've never been in the South.
Yeah, right.
It's like they're just like, I'm a fan. That's like if I had like a Prussian flag. like what does that even mean?
Or if you like tried to like if like some like German person tried to, I don't even know what this flag looked like, but try to just fly the flag of the Weimar Republic.
Yeah,
or
like
never lived there.
Yeah, you're not even in the middle of the country. You're in upstate New York. Like, it snows there.
Yeah, like, you realize you live where slaves used to flee for safety. Like,
but that's the thing about, like, the Trump no more bullshit. What I don't understand is, like, how can you have it, like, your motto's, like, things are gonna change now? It's like, the guy's been in office for 4 years.
That's exactly my point. That's the exact same thing I thought. It's like Trump 2020, no more bullshit. It's like, as opposed to
the 4 years.
4 years, it's like, now even less bullshit.
Yeah, what do you... Well, now like, his motto is, like, keep America great. And it's like, how is America great right now?
Yeah. But
it doesn't make sense.
He just goes like, it's just like everyone's lying. I don't know. I don't want to get into like anti-Trump rhetoric because I'm not pro the other side either. I just don't like this. I don't like this one particular guy.
I think that's
a dummy.
I think what's difficult about it is like as much as like you can hate on somebody like Trump, it's just like at the end of the day he's not even like he is one of the main issues, but there's so many other problems with America too. Like,
yeah, and this is why I don't like to hold positions.
Yeah, and like when you get Trump out of office, it's like...
Oh yeah, no, he's like he's kind of not like the... Everybody thinks like when he gets out of office everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows, but there's still going to be his... I think what's going to happen is his kids are going to run in 2024. Like people... Because I was wondering, what happens if he loses, right? And where does the Republican Party go? Are they going to go back to, like, the middle? And I don't think that's going to...
Like Marco Rubio.
Yeah, or, like, John Kasich or something.
The new savior.
I just don't see that happening.
Rubio.
I feel like...
I have John Kasich. It's like... I don't know. I think, like, at some point they're going to either... They have to either be like, yeah, like, let's get, like, the middle vote.
Yeah.
Or, like, let's just go off.
Let's just double down on the,
They may just jump on Kanye for 24.
Milo Yiannopoulos.
Imagine a Milo Kanye 2024 bid.
Yeah.
I might vote for that.
Shapiro Jones 2024.
Shapiro Jones.
My
sister told me I sound like Ben Shapiro, and I was like,
does your sister hate you? That's like the meanest thing
I
can say.
Your sister just thinks you're a loser.
I probably is. She was like, I was listening to your podcast, and you sound like Ben Shapiro. I was like, fuck you.
Was she talking about your voice or your ideology?
Yeah, and I'm like... I think it's just the voice. I just think it's like the nasally quality of my voice.
I mean, you don't really sound that much like it because, like, maybe...
I hope not.
Like, I can't eat meat with blood.
Is that what he says?
Well, that's like a kosher thing.
You know why she may have said that? Because two episodes ago, we spent the whole episode shitting on wet-ass pussy. Just for fun.
Oh, yeah, well, that's another thing.
But not in the same way. Like, Ben Shapiro was just like, I don't know. He was trying to make a point and didn't realize that he was saying something completely hysterical. But
Yeah.
we were just, like, shitting on the song and just reading
It was
the
just
lyrics.
a stupid song. But that's another thing that I thought was annoying about the wet-ass pussy stuff, because it's like you were kind of, I think, hinting at it, like, everything is so fucking binary now, where it's like, you're either on Team Blue or Team Red, so it's like, Cardi B comes out with a shitty song, and it's so predictable that, like, all the people on Team Red hate it, and everybody... Like, I saw an article that somebody's, like, from The Guardian, which is a well-regarded outlet, was saying that, like, wet-ass pussy should be celebrated as a great work of art. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like, is it that hard to believe that maybe it shouldn't be celebrated or, like, censored? Like, maybe it's just a piece of shit that somebody made, like...
I don't know,
like,
I think it's just, like, the most extreme thing that you can currently do in, like, the like mainstream media world. So like, therefore,
that's as far as
I think it's like a relevant piece of art. I think it's
right.
I think it's like it. Some people are like yes queening it, and they're just like it's like an empowerment thing.
Yeah,
I think it's more just like they were like, what's like the most extreme thing that we can do right now? So like in another year we can do like skull fuck my face, and then in another year like it can be like throw me off a bridge like as I have a vibrator on.
And then in another year it's bury me on the beach.
Mutilate my body. That's like.
And then in another year just do it to 10 more girls for 5 years.
Mutilate my body. And people will be dancing to that, but like, I don't know. I mean, we've already sort of
we beat that one into the ground, but I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like
empowering.
Yeah, people will take things like that, and it's like some people are like, this is like we were joking on. We were like, this is the death of America, but like obviously it's not really. It's just a shitty song. But some people will go that far too and be like, it's the death of America.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's my taste in music, but like I could never just listen to that. Like,
I'm like, where's the solo?
yeah, I'm like, where's the completely incomprehensible guitar riffs hidden under distortion with screaming vocals?
I hate that I can understand the words on the first listen.
I hate that I don't have to look up what the band name is because I can't read the logo.
Yeah.
No, but,
it's funny that everything in metal... Is it metal or hardcore? Do you listen to hardcore?
I listen to both. They are different genres, but...
Yeah. And like
metal is the gross one. Metal's the one with the band logos screwed up and like the guts and stuff.
Everything in metal is like, please don't look at us.
Yeah,
it's just like they like let themselves go and like they're just like all looking down. You can't see their faces. The fonts that they use are like unreadable. It's just like, don't get involved with this.
I think the idea is like it's I don't even know if it's that. It's almost more just like. To me, it's just like, this is how badass we are.
I know,
like,
wearing costumes.
We're so bad. Like, if you could listen to this, that makes you badass.
I know, you're just like, we all think we're monsters. And you're just like the song just goes like, da 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 da. And you're like, yeah, yes, let's go. And you're like, what do we do to this music? And you're just like, let's all just run to the middle point. And you swing your arms. And you're just like, I'm so mad and upset. And then you come home and like, you're in a beautiful neighborhood.
Yeah.
When you come home, you're like, you have 4 Xboxes. I don't even know what these games.
Actually, that's an original Xbox.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe
maybe it's not as luxurious as you were trying to make it.
I know.
Like I know. You got like FIFA.
You're like come on, it's not that bad. You have an original Xbox sitting there.
You
got a ping pong too.
There's 8 cars in the driveway. You have a full ping pong table.
Yeah, we were commenting on the amount of. Why do you have so many cars in your driveway?
Well, I mean, like the 2 of the Civics are one Civic's mine, one Civic's my brother's. The Audi is like just kind of an extra car.
You've been extra.
It's just an extra. Because here's the thing: my dad's car is a Jeep, but it's a stick, so none of us could drive it except him and my mom. So like we have the Audi just in case. Like I don't know.
They're like, so when Tom gets drunk, he can't drive the stick.
I mean, yeah.
He'll try to drive the stick, but he can't get far.
I mean, that's why I own a car because they were like, well, we're not gonna let you drive our car, so I'll just buy one. And they're like, you want to buy this one? And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
But you know what? The thing is, to me, it's more just the fun. Like when I'm in a mosh pit, I'm not really mad. I'm actually having it's like I'm being on a roller coaster to me. Like the anger is what makes me want to do that, I guess. But like when you're in it, it's almost kind of like it's sort of like. And people have made this argument. There's almost something weirdly homoerotic about metal. Where it's like you're literally just it's literally just a bunch of dudes mashing bodies. Like no matter how you flip it, like
I know
whether you say it's for the music or not.
And it's like all the girls who like metal just really want to be murdered.
Yeah, they're really just women who like to be choked during sex.
Girls with like
not like choked regular, like when they wake up. Like they're like, can someone choke me? I'm bored.
Can someone put something around my neck, please?
Yeah,
I haven't had any stimulation in the past.
I need.
10 minutes.
They're just people who like neck stimulation.
Yeah,
mostly women though. Like I've because I'm banging this girl right now.
You're like I've choked a lot of women.
Well, I mean, like I've whether they want it or not is different. But yes, no, but I I am with the girl right now who like she likes the choking a little bit, and I'll do it. But then she'll kind of try to do it to me, and like it does not turn me on at all. Like me being choked, I'm just like.
And you stop choking.
Like I can't really breathe. I'm trying to fuck. Like, but like she's like, yeah, put your hand on my neck. And I'm like, okay. Like
I don't understand how that could be a rot. I don't get it. You know,
it's like you're putting them like closer to death, and then also I think there's
is that what it is?
I guess it's one thing.
They're like I care about this so much I would die for it. But then also I think that there's it cuts off circulation to the brain.
True, and it probably makes it.
Yeah, and then
it's the same thing with autoerotic asphyxiation. It's the same rush that they get people, except David Carradine guy.
Yeah, the sadder, but like they have someone to do it for them.
Yeah,
and you don't have to worry about dying.
And it doesn't look really horrifying while it hangs from a fucking doorknob.
That would be really like how did the Carradines explain that to the newspaper when fucking what's his face?
I mean,
died?
what do you even say? Like you find him hanging.
He was coming, and then he was going.
You find.
Yeah, they're just like what are you gonna do?
It's just like, well, that's how David Carradine ended.
He came and
So-
went. You know?
He came and went. These are jokes that Rodney Dangerfield probably made.
Hey, he came and
I
went.
didn't know whether he was coming or going. I remember this one Greg Giraldo roast joke that he made towards I forgot who. I think it was Gilbert Gottfried. He's like Gilbert Gottfried. We didn't think you would come to the roast, but you actually showed up. You tightened your belt and you came. You're like David Carradine.
Yeah.
It's just like it's weird because I guess he must have just died because that's not even like a roast to Gilbert Gottfried.
I know.
Like you're not even really insulting Gilbert Gottfried. You're just like, by the way, this guy killed himself.
Let's think about those roasts. A lot of those roast jokes wouldn't be insulting the roast. It would just be like the shock value because something like whatever recent tragedy happened.
Yeah.
They would present to the audience like 9/11 and everyone's like, oh shit. And,
I know. You ever deconstruct comedy and then be like, why am I doing? Like, what am I doing?
Sometimes.
I'm just shouting horrible things into
Yeah.
a microphone.
Sometimes when I'm writing, I'll feel that way. Like I'll be writing a sentence and I'll just be like literally middle of just the most disgusting shit. And it's just and then the what am I saying?
I know,
What
especially
am
with
I
you,
even
there's
getting?
a flow chart of it's the joke and then it goes to 7 different words at the end.
Yeah, there's always a lot of
Oh, if you have those just notes. See, when I have notes, it's just a couple of words. I was looking at old notes today to prepare for the set, and I saw a note that said Devin has a small penis, and I was like, what does this mean? What was the joke?
Yo, Devin, Jack is sizing you up. I don't know if you'll ever hear this, but
He
Jack
won't.
thinks you have it. Yeah, he probably won't.
He probably has a very big penis,
but Jack's friend Lurch might, and he'll tell him.
But I was just like, what was I thinking about? Why is these?
You must have been thinking you were gonna roast Devin at some point.
It probably was that thing.
Because I look at some old notes I have where it's literally just at the moment I must have thought of something and I couldn't write it down. So in my note it's just thing about stock markets and dead babies, and that's it. And I'm just I have no idea.
But what about the stock
what
market
this
and
could
dead
have-
babies?
Yeah, it's how are these things ever connected? In
Yeah.
my head, I just really that's what I wrote down. That was the idea.
You gotta
That's
hire
why
a
I don't
detective.
smoke weed anymore.
Yeah.
You smoke weed sometimes,
Not anymore.
not at all,
All over.
all over.
No,
Finished.
I wasted too many nights of my life. I've wasted about 3,000. I don't know how many nights.
Honestly,
how
it's
many
not
years?
even the nights; it's the money.
It's the nights that I wasted.
Really?
I don't spend that much money, but it's I would
True.
I would be a different person at night, and I would just lay down and do nothing. I was I've wasted about 1,800 nights.
I feel that. I guess some people are when I'm high, I'm better. I'm high right now. You know what I mean? When I'm high, I'm more comfortable.
I've been
so,
noticing that this is the best version of you.
pretty much. This is how I exist.
Yeah.
But I think it's
Otherwise, you're suffering from crippling anxiety and just
essentially
typical depression. You're
pretty typical white Long Island depression. Yeah.
yeah.
You get some nice Tom texts when I remember when you were sober for about a month.
Oh boy, that
Last
was
year
not a
after-
pretty. It was 3 months actually. Thank you very much.
Yeah, true. Sorry.
Not a pretty 3 months for old Tommy boy.
his
That's
worst
inter-
3 months.
See, when I stopped smoking weed, I actually the exact opposite. I just feel more calm.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's
Well-
just more centered. It just hits people differently.
What happened with me is for the first 2 weeks I was just I need to get high still, and then after that I was all right, I don't care about it getting high. I'm fine. I can not get high.
Yeah.
But then when another month went by, I was just kind of life sucks. Literally, it wasn't even I want to get high. At that point, I was just wow. I'm just
the
not.
mundanity.
It's just I'm just not happy. I'm just walking around not happy. It's not even. I don't even want to get high. It's just everything feels the same and it's weird, I think that's why drug addiction is such a crazy thing because even when you cure yourself, you never go back to normal. People who get off heroin, they're never gonna be the same as before they ever touched it. Even if they never touch it again, because your brain's different, and you don't get happy the same way because your brain's used to taking chemicals for it, and that's why.
Although you
I'm
do
gonna
get those
do
sober
some
rushes,
crystal
though.
meth soon.
You get
Yeah.
those sober times.
People
of,
say that. I've never had that.
Okay, I've
People are I have sober rushes where I just loved life, and I'm really? Did you?
know.
I mean, it's not this.
I think that's a lot of times people try to quit
I
weed
think
want
they
to
just
tell
have
themselves that.
mania.
Maybe.
I feel like they're probably just bipolar.
Yeah, well,
It's like I have these sober rushes where I feel indestructible and I love life.
that's definitely
I start a business and then I close the business and I start another business and I close
all in a week's work time.
And then I have dinner.
Sounds like what you need is some good old-fashioned antidepressants.
I think what I need is some good old-fashioned heroin.
I know.
Well,
would you ever try heroin again? I tried to say it really loud in case your parents hear.
Yeah, right,
again. Then you have to show them the tape.
Then
You have to be like, no, look, he explained it afterwards.
No, you listen to the recording. I'll show you. It was a riff, Mom and Dad. Let me explain to you what riffing is.
I was riffing.
This is comedy. Okay,
We're
let me break it down for
it,
you.
you know.
No, but I mean, comedy is like...
What do you
It's
think
a
about
weird
the
thing
fact
to,
that they're doing that comedy protest, whatever?
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
You think?
Thank you.
Thank
you. Somebody else thinks that.
Okay, you gotta think, the people who, are they're taking comedy away from us are, all people who have never been booked at governors.
Yeah, yes.
People, so it's like...
Yeah.
It's like if I went to Harvard and I was like, you have to reopen the doors to Harvard. You have to. What are they gonna do without it? It's like they're gonna have to do online classes, and that's not the same.
Yeah.
It's like okay. It's like then I go home and I'm alone. I'm eating pizza on my stomach.
I'm
laying down. There's pizza on my stomach, and I put it down and I just stare at the ceiling, and then I take another bite of the pizza and I put it back.
It's so stupid.
But not only that, it's like they're they can't stop us even though they weren't adhering to the regulations that were put in place by the government. It's like the governors probably has to do I don't know. It's like these people are not gonna stop. This is just an excuse for them to go out during the day.
Yeah, socialize.
I was at a mic the other day, and some woman was who was going to it was yeah, there's a protest, and I was someone said what's it for, and she was Blue Lives Matter, and then someone was no, it's to protest that they're closing down government, and she goes, oh, okay.
Yeah, they just want to be part of something.
Yeah, she'll be I'm going to go to either one. I don't care.
Whatever it is, I'm down.
Feel it's a way of I want to be part of something to feel important.
What have you said to her?
It's an anti-boycott.
What have you said to her? We're protesting the rights of gay people to marry. She's okay. She just
it's just she doesn't care. She just wants to go to a protest.
Should I bake cookies?
It's ooh, what are we mad at? It's right now we're mad at women voting. It's I'll get into that.
Yeah, I don't want to vote anymore. I'm tired of
people. The thing that was I found was bullshit was everyone's this is our way of making money. It's dude, most of those people that are going to this protest don't make a living doing comedy.
I don't know anyone who makes money this way.
Actually, not only that, most people who regularly use governors to put content out pay them, not get paid.
Yeah.
If you have a radio show on governors, you pay them. It's $100 an hour or something. It's fucking a bullshit business model where they take these sad people who they just want so bad to be a thing, and they say, yeah, here's a studio, just pay us an obscene amount of money every time you use it, and then you get to be on the radio, and it's
yeah,
those are really the people in the street. I don't think any of the comedy
Facebook is the radio.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's you can pay $100 to have this fancy podcast at Governors, or you could pay $0 and have a podcast in Tom's basement.
Exactly. Yeah, you can pay $0.
And he has an Xbox.
And he has
I have
an Xbox
original Xbox
with one game.
and an NES.
FIFA 2002.
Actually, I actually have a lot of good Xbox games. I don't know if you guys ever played Gun, but I have Gun, motherfucker.
Yeah, he has Gun.
Doesn't
You don't understand.
Gun.
Back when we were kids, Gun was crack.
I don't have
Gun was crack,
but I have Gun.
You have the Gun.
I have Gun.
Is it a first-person shooter with a guy with a gun?
Yeah, actually it is. It's amazing.
That makes sense.
No, it's not. Actually, I maybe I'm misremembering with a different game, but I think it was third person.
Oh.
Doesn't matter.
It's more about the gun, about seeing the gun as you shoot the gun than it is about anything else.
It's more about the fact that you get to shoot guns and you get to imagine your classmates while you do it. It's a great game. It makes me think of that game Bully. You ever play Bully?
I played a tiny bit.
I know what it is though.
Bully was ridiculous.
Were you the bully in the game, or were you the guy fighting?
No, you were the bully. Because it was basically just GTA, but you're a bully.
You're just bullying
in school.
kids.
That's how I remember it, at least. I never owned it because my parents didn't like really allow me to own certain video games.
Yeah, that's why I never played it.
But like I played it at like friends' house, and yeah, you'd give kids wedgies. Like, it was a fucked up game kind of.
Like my parents wouldn't let me get Grand Theft Auto.
Same, yeah, it never was allowed. I wanted it so bad. I wanted I remember when San Andreas was like out, and it was really like seen as like the best game in the world. Like I would play it at my cousin's house, and I'd be like, "Mom, let me get this game," and she was like, "All right, we'll go to GameStop and we'll see." And I get there, and the dude behind the counter just sold me out. Like, he was just like, he's like, "Do you understand? This is a game for adults. Like, I'm not even old enough to play it." And I was like 10 years old. I was like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?" Like,
yeah, I think they were required to do that or something.
I guess, but it's just like, we're giving you money. What do you care? Like,
yeah, no, I don't. But that was like when parents would come into Starbucks and they would buy them like a triple espresso, like they'd buy them like a latte that has like 8 shots of espresso in it, and I'm like, this has 8 shots of espresso.
Yeah,
it's like a warning. Yeah,
they're like, yeah, he has ADHD.
You're just like,
okay.
But you gave it to them. That's the
now
point.
He has
like,
extreme ADHD.
But I guess me complaining about not getting the game is the same as those people complaining about governors. Yes, segue back into the topic.
Yeah.
I don't understand though. Is this protest gonna be happening in the parking lot of Governor?
Mm-hmm. It's funny because it's behind the Tri-County Flea Market.
Yeah, who's gonna see the protest?
Nobody.
They're not protesting in the lot where people might even be going to one of the other stores there.
Yeah, someone said maybe they'll show it on News 12 and then the governor will see it.
Cuomo's gonna be like, out of all the things that I think is important, this is really.
I was like, yeah. This is
like I love, and you know what? Here's the thing, because I know a lot of our friends might be there. And, like, it's obviously no, like, offense to anybody.
Yeah, no offense.
But, like, just the thought of, like, somebody, like, standing there who, like, we go to, like, Ziggy's with, and, like, Andrew Cuomo seeing them on video with a sign and just being like,
"We're here. We're mediocre. Get used to it."
Oh, I mean it with plenty of offense. If you think that this is going to make a difference, you're a delusional, insane person.
Maybe. Okay.
Like, you have to be, like, I don't even understand. Like, there are maybe 10 people who should be protesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people actually, like, I got the message from Steve. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, like,
I got it too. I was like, no.
Do you think that they, like, who is your intended person to see, like, there's not going to be 4,000 people there. No. There's not going to be an amount of people that, like, if all these people signed a petition, there would be 25 people on the petition.
There's not going to be 100 people there.
Like, it's underwhelming no matter which way you look at it. So it's like, what is the point of doing it? Yeah. And on top of that, it's like, I think that a lot of people just think that the governor's people will see them doing it, and they'll be like, "You supported us during our toughest time."
I was gonna say that. Like, I feel like some of these people have the idea that we're
gonna get more stage time.
The owners are just gonna be peering out the window, and governors seeing them in the streets, be like, "You know what? Those are good guys.
We're gonna give you guys.
We're gonna get them
time
next
when
time."
you reopen.
Yeah,
I'm
just gonna say I was there.
Yeah, right. Like, I'll just lie if anything.
Yeah, they were like, "Did you attend our protest?" And I was like, "Yeah, I protested governors."
Dude, even if I had
it's governor v. governors.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
The governor is shutting governors
we
down.
We protested the governor to save the governors.
He's like, it's not my club.
It's just weird that a lot of those people, like, because there were the Black Lives Matters protests, and I remember seeing, like, a lot of those people, they weren't at those, or they were, like, kind of sneering their nose at that.
Yeah, it's kind of a good point.
This is like we're really passionate about opening up a comedy club.
Yeah, it's like I don't care about police brutality or like systemic racism, but god damn it, if I'm not gonna get to see Kevin James on a Wednesday night in Levittown, we have to fucking.
Somebody on Facebook, I'm not gonna name names, but did like the I swear to fucking God, they posted something like, first they came for the comics, but I did not speak out because I was not a comic. I'm like, you're really not doing this, like, the Holocaust thing, all right?
First they came
they're
for
like,
the
then
comics.
They came for the singers, and I was not a singer. I'm like,
no.
Dude, what are you talking
this isn't
about?
What the, like, no one's trying to shut down comedy for, like, I don't get the impression that they're trying to shut down comedy forever.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like so far, it seems like as far as the government's concerned, you could do it outside in a safe venue. Like, so it's like whatever. Like, yeah, it stinks, but
You can even do it at a bar, right?
Some
bar shows.
And comedians have been arguing, like, and obviously this is sort of a controversial, a controversial view. English. But comedians have been arguing for a long time that comedy clubs are kind of like an antiquated thing and that they don't really serve a purpose and that you can make just as much headway just doing like underground or like self-produced shows. And like, obviously that's not 100% accurate. I think the club scene still serves a very strong purpose in keeping comedy alive. But at the same time, like, most of the shows we've done in this room have been like underground and not like at a club.
We've also made, let's see,
like a
how much money have you made doing comedy?
The most I made was, but truthfully, this was because we did it with Renee. We made a good amount that night. We did
but just for performing.
But for performing, like
just like you, they go
$25.
Like $25.
I've made I made $45 when I did one of Esther's shows for a retirement home. That was the only time I ever made money.
Yeah.
Really? She gave you $45?
If for 15 minutes. It was me.
Not bad.
That's pretty good.
It was me, Evan,
you could do that every day.
Tugboat
Yeah,
Manny.
right?
Yeah, I don't. It was me, Evan, and Tugboat Manny. It was
Tugboat Manny.
I
Who
bombed
is that guy?
horribly. You don't know Tug? He's a good guy. I like bombed horribly, and one old lady fell asleep during my set.
Yeah.
And she was like, is this over yet?
You're just trying to do your jokes and you just see like an open mouth. Like,
yeah, she was like 85. She's like, I have like 10 minutes left to live. Like, this is how I have to spend the rest of my time.
She's like, you don't understand. My medication alarm has been buzzing up next to my vagina for 3 hours now. Like,
yeah.
I'm going to die if I sit
Some
here for
guy
anymore.
stood up and like walked across in front of me to get like a cookie and stuff. Like it was a weird show. I might do it again if I was asked because I'm like, fuck it, I'll make $45. But it was
The point I once got $20 from a guy on coke outside of a bar after doing comedy.
Oh
Why?
yeah,
But
wasn't that at maybe we shouldn't say the name of the bar. Ah, fuck it. Wasn't that at
Vintage?
Yeah, Vintage.
Lounge
Yeah, it was Vintage
in
Lounge.
Wantagh.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is that we're not making much headway here.
Of course, I mean, I don't
Outside
think.
of
I'm just saying in general, though. There's other comedians like Norman's doing, Mark Norman's doing shows in the park, like
Yeah.
and other. I mean, also there's like
Not for money.
Park
not
Normans.
true, but for exposure. I mean, it's kind of difficult. The only way to solve it is to adapt until someone just says that's it. Like the pandemic is over and life is back. Like. Until then, it's kind of just be like walking on eggshells when it comes to figuring out how to do comedy. I think.
Yeah.
Because it's just a
It's
fucking
an online
annoying
thing now. It's not a
inconvenience.
real life thing anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, if you guys haven't done any of the Zoom shows, I imagine.
I did one Zoom open mic and you all roasted me
Yeah, I
for it,
remember.
so I'm never gonna do it again. Thanks,
was
guys. Like, fucking assholes. That was funny though. I'll give you credit. That was pretty funny. Funny.
I went to one and it was weird because some guy was doing crowd work in the Zoom show and it was like he was like, hey, you on camera number 10 with the blue shirt. It's like, what are you doing? Like nobody knows who you're talking about. We can't even see this guy.
I mean, yeah, like this is like we beat this into the ground too,
Oh, yeah, I feel
but
like
I
it's
truly
very-
think that Zoom shows only existed as like a fun little like early pandemic. Like, hey, we're all here. Like, we know this is tough, but
Yeah.
here it is. Like, comedy. But at this point, it's like if anyone's going to actually like enjoying Zoom shows, I truly believe they're a sociopath. Like,
Zoom anything
there's nothing
sucks.
enjoyable about a Zoom comedy show. Even if it's a comedian I like, it's not enjoyable.
Dude, Zoom everything is fucking
Even
brutal.
Zoom podcast, which is weird because you'd think a podcast would be fun, but like I would try to watch like Legion of Skanks or something. Zoom, it's just not the same. It just doesn't hit right. You know what I mean? Like you're watching and their audio's like cutting each other off and shit. Like it's just not an ideal way to like Zoom is a good way to talk to somebody, but not a good way to like produce any kind of content.
I think that a lot of people have figured out what to do now, which is like you record, like use Zoom and also record yourself at the same time, and then you can cut the HD video and the audio together.
True.
So it's like you're doing it, so nothing cuts out either.
Or you could do pre-recorded shows too, which I think would almost be. It would make you feel like because when you, like I said, when you we were already talking about this, but like when you do comedy, you want people to laugh. But if you're just like, obviously nobody's gonna laugh because nobody can see me. If you're pre-recording your set, you might have like more confidence or whatever, and then put it on there. But then it's not really like stand-up comedy because you're not doing it live. You're just sending in like a tape.
Yeah, then you might as well just make a video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think, like Dom, who did something one day where he just went on Instagram Live and just stood there with, like, a microphone and just did some bits to the camera. And it's like, you know, if you want to do that to practice, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I just think that, like, I'm glad that most people are kind of on the bandwagon that Zoom comedy is not the future of comedy.
Yeah.
Like, at least people are, like, it's going to be, like, outside or something. And
Yeah.
not that, like...
I hate being negative towards things like that, but it's like, looking at it, I'm just like, this is humiliating. Nobody's having fun.
Yeah.
The audience isn't enjoying it.
It's all like their friends are like, well, that's the thing too, is nobody can say like, I can't go, I'm busy tonight because nobody's doing anything. So
Yeah,
it's just like,
right.
At
At least in the especially very early pandemic when like everyone was fucking unemployed, like it's just like, what do you got to get up tomorrow? Like,
fuck you.
Watch me for 8 minutes on Zoom.
You're doing this.
And it's just like, all right, I guess I'll do it.
It's like, do you want to hang out on Zoom? And it's like, no, I want you to watch me on Zoom. It's weird. It's like sociopathic. It's like a strange thing.
I need you to watch a bunch of people than me.
The whole Zoom comedy thing to me, just the vibe to me can be summarized with just, you go, girl. Like, that's what I get from it. It's just like, yeah, you go, comedians.
You do your stuff.
Got it.
Yeah.
Comedians.
And they ask, like, for donations.
Yeah, right. It's like, please donate
Smash
to my
that
Patreon.
subscribe button. But the thing is, comedy's not, like, banned. Like I said, like, you could go to bars and... I like Governor's Comedy Club a lot because every time I go there, I enjoy performing there because the audience is there to watch comedy and they're usually a receptive audience.
The best thing is performing at a club. There's no better venue. It's like made for comedy.
Yeah, like
everybody
when you're
knows
actually
what
with
when you go to a bar, there's like, you know, sometimes you go to a bar and there's just a bunch of people there that are not there to watch your comedy and, you know.
Also, a bar is sometimes just not designed for, like, shows. Like
JJ's.
Literally like JJ's. Like,
there's no elevated platforms, that's the thing.
Not even the elevated platform. There's just not really any space for, like, a crowd to just kind of, like, space out and look forward. Yeah. Like, everyone's just kind of crammed in a bar between a thin wall and, like, looking over everybody trying to watch the show. And as much as I love those shows, because I absolutely love all the JJ shows, it's like, when you do those shows, it's like, it's never good. Like, it's a fucking nightmare every time.
It feels horrible as you're doing it, and then you look back and you go, like, that was horrible, but, like, with a smile.
Yeah,
like, that was fun. Because it's like you're with your buddies, you're having a fun time.
I think that the fun thing about it is, like, we're all getting up here fighting this crowd.
It wouldn't be fun to do alone.
Absolutely.
It's like, they were just like, yeah, so you're just going to go up and do, like, half an hour and then get off.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Renee wants Mark Norman to do at the next JJ's.
He's not going to like that, or I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, he's the Norman's, you know, I'm sure he'll do it. Like, he's done comedy in a lot of, like, random areas, but, like, I just think that, like, a comedian like Mark Norman, like, he's just a joke guy. Like, he's like, joke. Like, he's not, like, stand in a bar where, like, half the bar is talking and, like...
But that might be better, honestly. Actually, I think that's more because people... at bars usually have lower attention spans, so they want like a punchline every 5 seconds, whereas like a guy who's
if they could hear them though, like that's the thing, like if you get it, because some people like, and I'm not saying like, I think Norman will be totally great, like if Renee actually gets him, I think it'll be great to see him. I just say from his perspective, I would see this as like an annoyingly difficult show, because it's like, you know, even though, you know, he's funny, but he's not typically a crowd work comedian, and it's just like, the idea that he now just has to, like, go back to, like, one of these bar shows that he probably, you know, he used to do, like, 10 years ago when he had to do them. Like, I think it'll be fun, but, like, JJ's is not really, like, a perform. Maybe the outside, but not the inside.
Yeah, I don't know. They said, Abe said the other day that he went to JJ's and there was, like, a gang fight outside.
What?
They're, like, two Crips, like, fought each other.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, actually, they were Crips, like, or is it just according to Abe?
They were cripples.
No, that's.
It was Jimmy and Timmy.
It's probably a little. Yeah, it's probably a little bit of telephone, but it's like two gang members just like we're fighting each other in the back.
Interesting.
They're like,
can't wait to go back this Wednesday.
Maybe they're gang member comedians.
It's like literally like it's the worst bar that I know of.
I mean, as far as dive bars go, JJ's is the definition. Like, it's the definition of, like, that type of bar where it's like, you walk in and your thought is like, I guess I'll have a beer, but I might get, like, stabbed. Like,
Yeah.
It's one of those places.
It's like with an emphasis on die.
Yeah,
See,
really.
The best place, in my opinion, to do comedy, which not a lot of people have utilized, is Huntington, because there's just like everybody's out there, and I don't know.
Like what places? Like Crabtree's, in my opinion, is not that good. Like everyone used to hype up the Crabtree's open mic, but really, it's like
not even just Crabtree.
I hate that spot.
There's a lot of bars though, like this bar in Nag's Head that I want to try.
Nag's Head?
Yeah, I was me and my brother-in-law were planning on throwing a show because he's like a producer or whatever. But like before the pandemic hit, but that like there's a lot of people that are always out and shit. You want to get like a town that's like that, or like Smithtown or Farmingdale or some shit.
So who's this podcast for?
This podcast?
Nobody.
It's for whoever thinks it's fun.
Like
I know you're sitting there like exploding at how pathetic this is.
No, I'm like, why are we talking about where to do comedy?
I don't know.
On Long Island.
Because we're
Smithtown,
we have an
Huntington.
we have a dedicated audience of maybe 7.
I know.
So we're catering to
I feel like
Maurice.
here's the thing.
Maurice listens 3 times.
Maurice listened 3 times.
No, but here's the thing. Like we go strong for like an hour, and then like after that we just give up.
We just kind of gas
like
out
bullshitting.
So
let's talk about the best towns to do. I'm like, I don't.
Honestly, at that point, like your question was like the exact time that we start gassing out. Like as soon as you asked that, I was like, yeah, it's that point.
Well, I can really tell. Usually, my voice fades when I start like giving up on the episode.
Yeah, dude. Last episode, you were about to go off on like a whole thing, and then you were just like, yeah, but it's like. I don't know. Like you just gave up.
I was just like, I'm done.
Up.
I was like, because and eventually at a point you're just like, I don't feel like talking anymore, and let's stop.
That was also an exhausting one because we were like, it was mostly political, that stuff. We just do anything. Like I think, like
I'm not. I wasn't criticizing your entire podcast.
No, I know it wasn't a criticism.
Sounds like you were.
I'm just trying to put you in your place, bitch.
Oh yeah. I was like, I don't know who's gonna listen and be like, yeah, Huntington. Really good for comedy. He's right. It's a great point.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Well, fuck you too. I think Huntington is a good place to do podcast.
But I mean,
I was thinking Huntington that affirms my thoughts.
Because when we plan these things, like we'll plan the topics, and then
we had like a bunch of topics that we didn't even talk about today.
Did we? What else did we have?
What's another one?
I don't even remember.
This is great. We're so professional. Maybe we wanted to talk about. No, it's not there. It's just not there.
Did you have anything going into that?
I thought
I started a sentence with no ending.
But you know what? It's also just kind of like it's just so freeform. We plan it, and then we're like, but then also like whatever comes to mind, like
this is the Ritalin podcast. Where
the anti-Ritalin.
Did you have fun though? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, this was fun.
You have a good time.
I'd do it any time. It's great to be here. It's great to be anywhere.
Anything you want to plug real quick?
I have a podcast coming out soon called The Coconut Show that'll be on all platforms. That I do with my friend Adam, and we ask people about their credit scores, and
so I can never go on this show.
Yeah, I mean, we would just
because I'm just too ashamed.
Yeah, well, I mean, we would just really roast the shit out of you. It's about being a scumbag. Like he used to be a car salesman, and like some of his tall tales.
True.
I don't know. We don't have a.
Because, I mean, the car salesman thing is cool, but you said it's about being a scumbag, and now I feel you're kind of ripping off our thing here. Like, no, this is the scumcast.
First you're trash talking our podcast.
Now you take our scumbag thing. I mean, come on.
No, like real scumbags. Like people who like are scumbags and have jobs.
Oh.
Like people who like rip off people for a living.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Scammers.
You're right. I'm not smart enough to be that kind of scumbag.
Yeah. We were talking about scammers a couple of weeks ago.
We were because I think you had like a scammer incident.
Oh, yeah, that I ended up, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
This has been great. Thanks for having me.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. I mean, I don't know why I'm saying this because nobody's going to hear this until after the fact, but we're doing a show later. I'm excited.
Yeah, it should be.
Are we all on it?
Are you on it?
Us. Yeah. We're doing 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask for another
15 minutes.
I'll do it. I'll try. I'm going to go into it thinking I'm going to try, and then I might give up by like minute 9.
I'm just going to do as much as I want.
I'm going to do an hour. Just
Jack's gonna pull a Roscoe Nash and record his whole special at this fucking spot, just completely unannounced.
I don't know who that guy is.
Roscoe? He's a comedian. He goes to Governors a lot.
That's really awesome.
He's an asshole.
He's probably at the protest.
Yeah.
He probably will be at the protest with his bald fucking head doing his shitty ass Irish priest character.
Yeah, that guy's a dickhead. We don't like him. But
we here at the podcast don't like him. And then Jack and I just start making out and violently fucking while you sit here.
Like, okay.
you sit here literally twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah, you're just
I
like...
see myself out.
Why are you sitting like that with your fucking...
I don't know, I was just fidgeting.
Alright, you're fidgety. Alright, that's fair enough.
Fidget. Doesn't fidget sound like it could be like a racist, like, term?
You can
It's
make
like this
one.
fucking fidget over here, like... What's with
I
all
was
these
hanging out with
fidgets?
a couple of fucking fidgets out there.
Dude, I don't know about this neighborhood. There's fidgets everywhere.
Yeah.
There goes the neighborhood.
There goes the neighborhood.
Alright, let's call it.
Let's wrap it up. Thank you all for listening. This has been a Podcast Orange. Thank you for coming, Andrew.
Pleasure to be here.
Of course. Oh, we didn't even talk about your yo-yoing. Next time that we have Andrew, we will delve into the crazy, psychotic life of a yo-yo master.
Oh, yeah.
That's one topic we forgot. I was going to ask you about yo-yoing.
We didn't even personalize it to the guests.
Nice work. I'm like wearing a yo-yo shirt. I have like a propeller cap on.
Yeah.
I'm like doing yo-yo tricks.
You have like 3 really like fancy $100 yo-yos with you, and just, like, on the table. It's like not mentioning that.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I don't know. Part of me figured you might have been tired of talking about yo-yo.
Yeah, we
shit.
don't want to be a bunch of hacks.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm pretty tired of talking about it.
All right.
So nice work on that one.
Yeah, we don't need to personalize
Just let me be me.
it to each.
To
let
each individual.
Just let Andy be Andy.
Just let Andy be. Really,
Let's
Andy?
just talk about
Only when I say it.
protests and
Only
shit.
when you say it. That's kind of like me with Tommy. Like people are like Tommy, and I'm like, no, dude.
Yeah, but I can.
But you can do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and I could call myself Tommy if I choose to.
I call you
Alright.
Tommy sometimes. Tommy Two Tits.
Well, looks like a Podcast Orange is now a solo podcast with just Tom Crescenzo. No,
Oh,
no, I would never kick you out for something so minuscule. All right, thank you guys for listening. This has been fun. Thank you, Andrew. Have a good night, everyone.